Hey, what's going on, everyone? Super excited to introduce you Nick Boscia, who I met through the Day of Greatness, right, with Jack Canfield.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. Great to meet you. It was like an awesome experience. So happy to be here and happy to get interviewed and tell you a little bit about myself and my journey.
Yeah. What really stuck out to me when I first met you was just like your excitement and just like your positive energy. I think, it's awesome when you like can connect and you meet someone who's like always like smiling, always like bright and just like excited to just learn something new and just meet people. I definitely got that feeling when I first met you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It's funny, like that's definitely one of my, like I would say, like my X factor. I feel like everyone has their X factor, like something about them that is unique to them, and like it's not like work for me. But like people always tell me, like you're always happy, you're always so positive, you're always like bringing up the mood. But like I've always been like that since I was little. Like I just like if people are having a bad day, like I want everyone in the room to be like just bring them up, even if it's just this much. I just feel like I want to make that difference, and I don't want to be like raining on someone's parade. That's just like not me at all, you know.
Yeah, that's good that you have that awareness. So I'm curious, so we met through Edwin was our mutual contact. Like what do you think Edwin's X factor is?
Edwin. Edwin is just he's always happy and he's so driven. Every time I call him, he's always doing the most. Like he's always at a charity event.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's at some type of workshop and he's like always, and like I like to think that I'm an overachiever and I feel like he's always doing something. He's never just like hanging out doing nothing. He's always like doing something to better other people. And I like having a friend like Edwin because then it makes you feel like, oh, I want to do more, you
Right.
know? And it's not like, it is never in this type of environment. It's never like a competition, like, oh my God, Edwin's doing so much better than me. It's more like, wow, Edwin's doing all these great things. It makes me want to do more great
Mm.
things, you know? So, and I just love Edwin. He basically got me into all, like so much more into all this stuff. Cause I went to Tony Robbins UPW with him. And then after I went with him, I ended up buying like his whole mastery university. So I went to Date with Destiny. I went to Life and Wealth Mastery in Fiji, and I went to Business Mastery in Vegas. So like it was all because of Edwin. But it's just funny how like I learned to like not take anything for granted and appreciate like certain things happen, and you don't realize like how big the ripple effect is going to be. You know?
Huh. That's pretty deep. Yeah. So yeah, explain to me a little bit more about this like ripple effect because I feel like that's
So
something we don't really think about too much.
yeah, because like you always think like where you are now and like how many things had to occur for you to get to this point in your life.
Mm.
Like, so if you're successful, it's not like you just woke up one day and you did one thing and became successful. It's like you did a million things along the way, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. But then even with certain things, sometimes you just get lucky. Like I met Edwin and we went to UPW. But if I didn't go with Edwin to UPW, he would have never encouraged me to do the Mastery University, which is basically all Tony Robbins programs in one. Like you have 2 years to do it. I did all in 1 year. But he didn't even do it with me. But if he didn't encourage me to go to Unleash the Power Within in Jersey, I ended up going to the other side of the world for one of his events in Fiji. So I love traveling. So that was a big incentive for me. But it was just cool because of Edwin, all those things happened. But then every one of those events, I met someone who changed my life in a certain way.
Mm.
You know, so it's like crazy how like you think back to 1 year before all those events, how different you were. And like if you're constantly doing certain things, that's why I like self-development. Because if you go to one event and take one takeaway, you go to 3 day event and you change one thing about yourself for the better, it was worth it, no question.
Yeah.
So that's why the ripple effect, because it's like a little drop and then it just changed you so much in like so many different ways.
Hmm. I,
You know?
I'm curious as to so we met during the Jack Canfield event. Like what's like one takeaway that you've gotten from that event that you think has influenced you still now?
So it's funny that you ask because when I went to that event, I already went to a bunch of the Tony events. So like I was already like amped up and motivated and had my goals and had my action plans and all that stuff. But
Mm.
then when we went to the Jack Canfield thing, we actually during the lunch, I asked he was doing it like a question and answer, and I asked him a question. And I was like, the one thing I always struggle with, and I still struggle with now, but like I'm better at managing it, but I'm definitely not a master at it. But it's like certain things is like when you're in the self-development world, you're always seeing all the things you could get better at. Like, oh, I could be work out more, I could eat even healthier, I could learn even more, I could do more charity. Like you could always do more. And then in my mind, it's almost stresses me out, and then I get worn out. So I asked Jack Canfield, and I was like, "How do you balance between pushing yourself to the next level, but being content where you are now?" And basically, his response was just like, "Learn to appreciate where you are right now today." And that was like so like pivotal, and it seems so stupid, but for someone who's like always trying to do more, do more, do more, and I'm sure like anyone who listens, or I'm sure you too, like if you're like an overachiever, you feel like you could never stop and you could never relax, and otherwise you're just not doing it. And
Yeah.
it made me realize like now I like make it a point like every day or every week to like think, what did I do this week or what did I accomplish that I'm really proud of?
Hmm.
Because you set your expectations so high, and then you could almost wear yourself out even though you're doing a ton of great stuff. So that was like one of my big takeaways from that event,
Huh,
you know?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely resonates with me because, like, for instance, like I mean, pretty much anyone who like meets me is like, dude, like I don't know how you do it, man. You're like freaking like you do everything, and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, like it gives me energy. But I think you are right where sometimes like I'm still hard on myself, right? It's like I win all these awards, like I'm part of like a billion charities, raise this much money, get to travel the world to build like schools and all this like cool stuff, right? And then it's like and then I'm still like, oh, but I want to volunteer more, like I want to help more orphans, I want to like build more schools, I want to like go to Tanzania to build wells, right? So it's like all these things are going through my mind, and then I'm just like, all right, like I sometimes I do need to kind of just take a step back. So I think in a way this COVID stuff is kind of helping me because it's actually helped me be a lot more like reflective and journaling, and like ironically today I actually made a video about like just what I'm proud of myself like for the day, which I feel like is ties
Yeah.
in you said, just kind of like being
Yeah.
appreciative of like, hey, like I'm here, and like I'm happy that I'm here, just to take a breather.
Yeah. It's funny too because yesterday with all the stuff going on and being being an accountant, there's just so much changes. So yesterday, like I'm getting so many calls all day from clients, and they're all scared, rightfully so. They're uncertain. They don't know what's happening. They don't know how long their business could be shut down, what if they should fire their employees, and so
Yeah.
they're all calling me, and I don't have all the answers, and that kind of put me in a negative state just because I always like you started the interview, like I always like walking in a room making everyone happy, just being positive, but it's hard to do that when everyone's really scared. So then I realized I couldn't help everyone the way I wanted to, so it put me in a negative mood. And then at the end of the day, I was it was one of those days, and I rarely have them, but it was one of those days where I was just like feeling like just drained, like energy drained, like I didn't feel like working out. At the end of the day, I was just want to sit on my couch, and I'm like, how am I going to get myself out of this funk? Because it was just like it was just one of those days where I was just like, drained. So basically I wrote and was writing my journal, just like my gratitude list, like all the things I'm grateful for right now, even in a negative state. You start doing it, and it just kind of makes you realize, like, puts things in perspective. Like, it's okay to have a bad day, like everyone has bad days, and like certain situations you can't always be prepared for. I don't think anyone was prepared for the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? So and the first thing I wrote was just like being alive. Like I'd rather be alive during the craziest pandemic of all time than to not experience it. You know what I mean? Like still be grateful for that. And then I just went through being healthy and being able to work, and my friends having our phones, like we could connect. Imagine we didn't have phones to FaceTime and do Zoom interviews. So I went through my gratitude list, just things that I'm grateful for that I have, and and then I just felt great. You know what I mean? And then today I've been not in such a better mood thinking about all those things. You know?
No, thanks for sharing. That's a good point. That's cool that you're able to like have a practice that can serve you in like a tool that helps you out, right?
Yeah,
I'm curious because I feel like a lot of the Tony Robbins, like one of the things I learned from Tony is that everyone has like some sort of adversity. So what's something that you look that was in the past that you used to look at it as like, oh, like that sucked, but then because you've gone through all this training, you were like,
yeah,
thank God that happened to me.
yeah. Well, one thing. Well, the training helped me over certain things, but there's certain adversity I've experienced when I was younger that helped me as well. So
Right.
for example, when I was 21, I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. So it's like a autoimmune disease, and basically one of the big triggers was stress because I was like always like trying to do a million things all the time, and
Hmm.
doing working 3 jobs and getting my master's and doing this and doing that. I never gave myself a break, so I was so stressed all the time. And
Hmm.
then I got sick, and then my doctor was like, one of the big triggers is stress. So like it basically forced me to manage my stress. So I took a stress management class in college, and that was like the beginning of like all this for me. Like a
Oh,
stress management class because it was offered at Penn State, and it just taught you about meditating, breathing, like little things. But me back then, like I'm like meditating, no, that's for like boring, weak, lazy people. Like I didn't know, and it's like so I started doing it. I'm like, oh, it's actually nice to like take a break once in a while. But like
yeah.
it was just that was the my intro into it. But if I didn't get sick, so this is my thing with adversity. Like everyone, if I didn't get sick, I probably would still be so high stress and just like never enjoying life as much. And now I learned to just relax more and realize I can't do everything all the time. You
Mm,
know what I mean? So, and then that eventually led me into like obviously the Tony Robbins and going to all these events because then you realize like your mind is absolutely everything. Like I could be living my life right now, nothing changes. If I just change my mind, I could think I have the best life in the world,
yeah.
or I could have the exact same life and think all the things I don't have and all the things that I wish I had. And
Yeah.
so I feel like working on your mind constantly is like the most important thing that I've ever done. And I'm still doing it every day. It's not like I like check it off and it's like, all right, done for life. It's like every day, you know?
No, thanks for sharing. That definitely puts things into perspective. It's like it's like some people they can have like some adversity like an autoimmune disease and then they could be crippled by it, right? They could be like, oh, like life is not fair, like this sucks. And don't get me wrong, like it's okay to feel that like it, but then at
Yeah.
the point eventually, you have to see the silver lining in it or else it's just gonna like, debilitate you, right?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like to see it as like a good lesson, and like since then, it like caused me to like start trying to be healthier. And it's funny that I was on a medication, like an immunosuppressant, for like the past 9 years, and it's been a goal to try to get off all medication. So I've been like eating healthy, doing all the right things, and I actually stopped that medication like maybe 5 months ago after like 9 years, and I've been completely healthy. And it's perfect because that medicine suppresses your immune system. So hypothetically, this is the perfect time to not be on it with the coronavirus
Oh,
going around.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been on that for like 9 years, and now I don't take it. So it's kind of perfect timing.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah. So
Wow. I know I'm curious. So did you meet Edwin at that event or prior
no,
to that?
that's another crazy thing. So I met Edwin, my best friend Ryan is friends with him, and I planned a vacation. And Ryan told Edwin, who he worked with, I've never even met Edwin, and Edwin booked the trip to come with us to Spain. And I didn't even know who he was. And then we became such good friends after a 7-day trip.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So,
so
so
cool.
it's crazy how things work. And now I talk to Edwin probably more than Ryan
Yeah,
does.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I wanted to learn a little bit more about like started like having your own business, like what that's like, right? Because obviously there's so many. It not everyone is like. Do you think that it takes like a certain mindset? Like, do you think that it's for everyone, or?
Definitely not. There's definitely a lot of pros and a lot of cons to having your own business. Like obviously some of the pros, like what you think about, it's like, oh, the harder you work, the more you're really working for yourself. You work more and you get more money, you're earning more. Where you don't always, it's not always like that as an employee.
Right.
But you have your own work flexibility. If I feel like coming in at 10, I really can. If I want to work on Sunday and take off Monday, I can. It's like there's a lot of flexibility. And there's like the pride of like when your business grew, it's you really know it's because you are doing the right things and you're like adding value to clients. Because that's one thing I learned from Tony Robbins at like his business master. It's like the only way to make more money is to add more value. Like no one ends up becoming successful and making money because over the long term, because they're like doing the wrong things or cheating or stealing. I think like you add more value, our clients want to tell everyone about us because we're doing a great job. We're growing. We get tons of Google reviews because our clients love us. Like we create like what they say raving fans. Like our clients are like
Mm.
proud to be clients of Boscia and Boscia. So it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So, but then there's the cons of running your own business is like we're a small business. So it's like me, my brother, and one staff. So it's not like we have like this big firm. So it's like I have to do things like run to Costco and pick up paper towels and things like that. Like we have to keep the place clean. Like it sounds stupid, but like when you own your own business and it's small, you do everything because to hire a service for every odd job wouldn't really be cost effective. So we end up doing we do like the whole spectrum of business. And as we grow, eventually like hiring people will eventually be able to like kind of source out some of our tasks, but we do basically soup to nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. So, what advice would you give to someone who is like maybe on the cusp, like maybe they have like a side gig that they really enjoy, but they're kind of afraid to like take that leap?
Yeah. So I think because we help a lot of our clients set, like we do a lot of individual tax returns. We also do a lot of business tax returns. And a lot of our businesses started off as like individuals like you. Let's say you work full time at LinkedIn, say, and then you have a side gig and you're making a little bit of money on the side. Like we'll help you set up your LLC. And a lot of our clients, they do both at the same time. And then once they start growing that small business, then they'll make that leap. That's like a safer way to do it. Obviously some people are just like, they go all in, and that's usually the most success stories usually are that way.
Hmm.
They're usually not the 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but that's the safer way that I think is more common for what I see.
Huh.
But I think if someone's really passionate about what they do, they should go in, they should do their business 100%. Because if you're passionate, you can't fail because like your passion drives you. Or if you're doing it solely for money, I don't think it could be as sustainable. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
No, that's good advice. So what if someone is really passionate, but their risks they're like not a risk taker, like they have like a low risk tolerance?
Yeah. Well, sometimes they could get like a partner because I mean, if you have a partner, it kind of helps mitigate the risk because now you have someone with a different set of skills. You're gonna basically like say me and my brother, we both have a different set of skills. Like he's more of growth marketing, and I'm more of internal controls and like accounting and research and development. Say so, I'm more internal and he's more external, but we learn that business. Like I have my special skills, he has his special skills. So it
Right.
makes it nice to have someone to bounce off, especially when things are going crazy like now. It's nice to have someone to lean on when you don't always have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? But if you're like a sole practitioner, it is a little more stressful because it's hard to take a day off. Like if I want to take a week off for vacation, then my brother could watch The Office.
Right.
You know what I mean? And every industry and business is completely different. Like we're an accounting firm. Like if you're running, say, a pizzeria, or you're becoming like a life coach. Those are two totally different businesses. So, so you can't just give like blanket information per bit. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many different routes. But I think honestly, I love running my own business because it's like your business becomes like part of you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, like when I saw those Google reviews, I was really freaking impressed. So I'm curious, like, do you ask for the reviews, like, or do you say like, hey, like if you do enjoy our service, like, could you leave us a review? Like, how do
yeah,
yeah.
usually like after I help a client and they're like have a lot of questions and they're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. Like you're so great." Like a lot of times like people in an email when I'm completed with their tax return, they'll be like, "Oh my God, you guys really like went above and beyond," or they'll say, oh, they'll basically leave a review just in an email to me, and I could tell that if they had a really good experience. I'm like, "Oh, it really helps my business. If you wouldn't mind leaving a review, it only takes a second." And they're always like, "Oh yeah, I'd be more than happy to." Like
Uh,
people, like when you give someone a great service, like they're more than happy to almost give back to you more than just paying you for your service.
hmm,
So, and like the best thing a client could do for us is refer us. Like they tell their kids, "Oh, you have to use my account." They tell their sisters. They go out to dinner and they tell the owner of the business. They're like, "Oh my God, you have to use my account," and that's how we grow. We do right by our clients, and that's like we're growing only because we're doing a good job. I feel like if we weren't doing a good job, naturally we would not get reviews. We would not get referrals. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, are you involved with like BNI or any of that stuff as well, or?
So we did networking groups over time, but nothing really stuck too much because a lot of times with those we just haven't met anyone I guess that we connected so much with, and we didn't want to get so intertwined. A lot of times I felt like a lot of people come to us because you typically an accounting firm has a big client base that has a lot of retention unless if you're you know so like if someone typically like a financial advisor will want to come in the door and they want or book a business, but not everyone wants to always refer out. So like we've connected with people who really want to have like a symbiotic relationship, if
Yeah,
that's the right word. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
like we help you, you help us, and we also only want to refer out our clients to people who we know we can trust. You know,
yeah,
so
and that takes.
we have met really good people over time, but we're not part of any networking groups like that.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm just curious. I used to be like really involved with all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's I was curious. Okay.
yeah. And it's always like 7 a.m. meetings on Wednesday mornings, and I'm just like, I work a lot. I don't know if I want to spend my sleeping hours.
Hey, I mean, it seems like you're doing well, so it sounds
Yeah.
like you don't even necessarily need that now. Okay. Um, yeah, so tell me about the one in Fiji. I mean, that sounds like an amazing experience. Like walk me through like what the energy like what's the energy like what's the feelings that's going through your head when you walk in? Like walk me through all that.
Yeah, that one was awesome because it was like I love to travel, so like going on the other side of the planet for a Tony Robbins event, I was like, this is right up my alley. Because like most people would go to the one in Florida, but I was like, no, I'm going to Fiji. So I went out there a really long day, but I was so excited to go there because I knew there was only like 100 people at the event.
Oh,
So I'm like, I'm gonna make really good connections with all these people, and everyone's from all over the world. It's like I love meeting people from with different backgrounds and different cultures, views of the world. Like once you start traveling, like and you meet people from other countries, like you realize how different like the U.S. mindset is versus say Europe or Australia or Asia. You know what I mean? So I love getting perspectives from other people. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool going there just to meet people alone. But then the event was like half of it was life mastery on like health. We did like a full 4-day cleanse where we didn't eat and we did all this healthy stuff and I was feeling like $1 million. So like it was really cool. And actually this ring I wear that I learned about there, it's called an aura ring. And it's like one of those biohacking things. It tracks my sleep and my heart rate. But
yeah.
I got that there. I wear it literally every single night. And that's another example of the ripple effect. Like if I didn't go to that event, I would have never knew what an aura ring was.
Right.
Now I'm more conscious of my sleep patterns. So like I won't stay up late watching TV or reading too late. I'll go to bed because if I see my ring goes, oh, you only got 5 hours last night, and I'm like, oh, I have to make sure I catch up the following night. So
Mm.
like I don't know how big of an effect that has had on my life.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't know, but now just doing all these things, I always say like if it changes one little habit, it's worth it, you know?
Hmm.
But that event, I did like a ton of things on top of that, like the cleanse. So I was like, now I'm all about like eating a healthier diet. I eat like I try to eat plant-based. Like I have meat occasionally, you know, like I basically have a plant-based diet. I'm always exercising. I'm more into yoga. I meditate for like 10 minutes every single day. You know, like little things that like in the beginning was hard to make it a routine. And now it's just part of who I am. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. Do you notice like a big difference now that you've converted over to a plant more of a plant? Like, do you see it? Do you feel different?
Yeah, I do feel different. What made me believe it a lot, like I watch all kinds of documentaries on it, like What the Health and like the Game Changers. There's all those documentaries, and everyone could believe whatever they want, but I feel like it's hard to say that it's bad. Every diet's going to say to eat plants. So why is eating just plants not the right diet? But everyone could have their own opinion, and I don't really push it. But I feel my energy so much higher when I cut out meat or just have a limited amount of meat. Like I might have meat like 2 or 3 times a week, if that, you know. So so if I'm out with friends, like I'm not like I don't have any strict. I say like anything I get involved in, I try to do something that's sustainable over the long term. So
Yeah.
like I did try to do vegan for like I did it for 3 weeks, but then I realized like this is not sustainable because like when I go out with my friends and they're all getting pizza or everyone's going out for wings and watching the game, I'm just gonna be the only one not having wings. And some people can do, but like I care more about the community, being with my friends and enjoying the experience rather than being anti-meat.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's good that you have those values and those priorities straight. Yeah.
yeah. So whenever I go out by myself, I'll always choose something that's vegan. But if I go out, say on a date, like I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't eat meat because it's not true. Like I will eat meat. I just prefer to eat plant-based, you know?
So I mean, I guess it's hard to quantify like, but what percentage better would you say you do feel like versus back when you were, heavier on the meat?
Hmm. I guess it's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard to quantify it. But one reason why I do feel like it makes a big difference is because I like when I think about my day and all the things I do in a day, like I feel like, excuse me, I feel like I have so much more energy than say people around me. Because I'll be like, I'll do my whole day. I'll get up early. I'll do this. I'll do that day after day after day. And people, I feel like most people can't really keep up. And I don't know if it's because I'm putting good stuff in my body. Because then on like if I go like let's say at an event, like we go to like date. I went to date with Destiny. It's 7 days. And like some people are getting really tired, and everyone's like, and I'm coming in the morning, like ready to go, pumped up, so excited. And that, like if I was late to a team meeting in the morning, I was like, oh Nick, we needed you here to like get everyone pumped up because like that just like my energy was just like everyone's energy is high and my energy is here. And I don't know if it's because my personality or if it's because the food, but like I feel like it's a mixture of a lot of things, you know, like exercising obviously is important, but I don't know how much it's attributed to the food, but I feel like it's good for my body. So maybe it's mental too, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a good question because I think because we do so much that it's a compound interest, right? It's like it's just always adding up. So it's hard to really quantify. Is it the aura ring? Is it the extra hour of sleep? Is it the converting over to like a 50% like vegan diet? You know what I mean? But I think because you're doing all the right things, it's like you're just setting yourself up to win, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so I'd rather do little things here that I could do over the long term than like just be like full vegan and all that I do is yoga and I don't do like You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm very well balanced. Like when I meet someone, like usually if I go out on a date and I tell someone all about the things I do, it's almost like who does all that? Like who does high intensity interval training and yoga and meditates and does, like I do like a lot of I dabble in almost everything because I like to try it all, and I feel like it's good to be balanced. You know.
No,
Or like,
that's
or
awesome.
like a bodybuilder is always just lifting heavy weights.
Right.
I'll lift heavy weights and do hit training and I'll run and I'll do, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm doing all the forms of exercise. And I feel like that's just me personally. I'm not like a doctor or anything, but I feel like why is that not good if some people specialize in just those one area, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, I can relate. I'm like very much the same way where like I love doing everything. Like my a typical week is like I did yoga today, I did meditation. I'll usually go for like a quick run and then I'll also do like, push-ups and strength training, right? So I try to do everything. But you're right, like not most people don't do that. Most people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you're crazy.
Yeah. Like if I go to a yoga class, 90% of the time I'm the only guy. You know what I mean? Like most guys don't do yoga, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, but I like to try everything and I like to learn about everything. Like I know the science of all the benefits of yoga. That's why I do it. Like I know the science of all the benefits of eating a plant-based diet. That's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? So and going to these events, like they teach you all this stuff. So it's like if
Right.
I if I go to like hopefully the Breakthrough to Success weekend doesn't get canceled in for June, but I'm sure when we go, regardless of how good we're doing or not good we're doing, we're gonna go there and you're gonna take something away that's gonna bring you from here to here.
Right.
We're here to here. But it does, like you're always if you're always going to these events, you're always gonna be like getting information that like, oh yeah, now I'm ready to do this. Maybe
Mm,
I wasn't ready to do plant-based, but now I'm ready to do it 1 day a week. And then I'll do it 3 days a week and then
mm.
seven or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, and I know we spoke earlier. You always meet like the most interesting people at these events. Tell me about like what about the people that go to these types of events that might be different, like in terms of attitude or mindset or energy. Like, how would you describe like the mindset of someone who is more open to like, for instance, fly halfway across the country to you know what I mean?
I feel like you meet like the most genuine people. Like people are like you meet someone 1 day, two,
Mm,
3 days, and like they're willing to tell you like their whole life story. And like not only will they tell you their whole life story and like what makes them them, they'll tell you like their dreams and their goals and like that you connect with someone on such a deeper level. Like you could have a best friend who you've been best friends with your whole life, and you might not know what his dream life is, but
right.
you should. Like I always think about that. Like most people don't know what if they could have their dream life right now. Most people are like, I'm not really sure because you don't think about it. But you go to an event and people are like, oh my dream. I just want to be able to travel the world and help people and meet people and experience culture. Like when you talk about like your dream life, you should be so pumped up. So you meet people, learn what they love, and then you connect on like another level. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying?
mm,
And I also love that you'll talk to someone like let's say me and you met, you would be telling me about your dream life and your goals and your aspirations, and then I tell you about mine, and they could be totally different, but you would still support my dreams because you could tell that that's important to me, and then I would still support your dreams. Or like your family and friends, you might tell them about your dream life, say, and they might be like, "Ooh, do you really want to do that?"
mm.
Well, maybe you should just do less of that, or maybe you shouldn't do plant-based or whatever it is. Like you
Right.
realize you go to an event and people will support you no matter what,
Mm,
which is a really good feeling. And then sometimes the people who are you've known your whole life don't always support you
mm.
because they don't understand where you're coming from and why you want the things you want. So you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do think, when you go to these events, like the vulnerability is much higher because like the space is like, when you hear people on stage talk about how like they were raped, or their parents beat them to a pulp, or whatever it is, like when that's the topic of conversation, like everyone's more vulnerable, because that's the precedent has been set. So it's like, okay, I can talk about how I didn't have a father growing up, or I lived off of food stamps, and it's like, because it's a vulnerable space.
Yeah.
But then no one judges you, because everyone knows that, like, hey, we're all here for a purpose, which is to support each other, to have a good time, to make interesting relationships, and ultimately to become better, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about, how many lives can you impact, and how can you give back, right? And those are end up being the most successful people, because you're, like you said, you're adding value to every single person that you're meeting. You're not always taking, you're always like helping them, and by helping others, like that's how you become more successful.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that you come up with that point, because that's one of my things. Is like, I'm always like, I go to these events. I'm like, I want to go and change the world and make the biggest impact on everyone. And then like, and I've set all these goals, but then I kind of reel it back, and I'm just like, you know what? This is how I think to this day. Like, if I live my life every day as like a happy, loving, caring person, and if I inspire one person, or just even not inspire, just make someone's day better. If I go to like get gas today, and I just am extra nice to the attendant, or whatever it might be, like I make that a priority every day. So it's like almost like my 24 hours on this earth today, I made it better in some way. Not like I don't have to be Tony Robbins and feed 1 billion people. That would be awesome. I wish I could, and maybe someday I will. But people are always like, they put off doing something. Like, oh, I want to donate to charity, but I'll wait till I get a raise. Like, just donate $1 today. Like, it's about like doing the little things. People feel like they have to change the whole world, or it's not even worth starting. So I
Mm.
do the little things every day, and then it just like over the year, you're like, wow, I did 365 awesome things, even though I just help someone bag their groceries, or I held the door for somebody. But like I'm conscious of those things, because I feel like that's my purpose, to make the world better, regardless of how big or little it is.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm curious, like, so if you, this might be like a hard question to answer, but if you didn't go through the ulcer colliculitis,
Ulcerative colitis, yeah.
colitis, if you didn't have that, do you think you would be into all the self-development, and like you would have, because I feel like everything always happens like for a reason.
I do feel like everything happens for a reason, because I swear it's crazy. That event, like I took that stress management class. To
Mm.
me, that was such a weird class. I'm like, oh yeah, let me take this class. It's gonna be easy. I'm gonna be relaxed and whatnot, and I need it. And I still have that textbook saved.
Well,
And maybe that was a little ripple effect, because I didn't even start. Because then after that, I watched The Secret.
oh,
And that's really, I feel like The Secret, that's what I like. Maybe subconsciously, stress management class in college made a big difference because of ulcerative colitis. But then watching The Secret definitely was like that. I know is like a pivotal point for me. I
mm,
watched the documentary The Secret, The Law of Attraction, made the vision board, and then eventually that led me to Tony Robbins' podcast, and then
mm,
his programs, and then Tony Robbins led me into all the other people. So now I listen to like Lewis Howes, and I want to go to the Summit of Greatness, and then Jack Canfield, and I listen to like Les Brown and Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, I like listen to everyone, because everyone is saying the same thing in their own words. You know.
yeah.
So yeah, it definitely is it's all linked, but yeah, you never know how things get you where you are.
Yeah. So, um, do you have your vision board near you? I'm curious, like, if
Mm. I
well,
think I have it on my phone, actually.
okay. Yeah, walk me through your vision board. Would love to like.
So I make one. I've been making one every year since 2015.
Mm,
So I actually have a picture. You'll laugh. So I like to inspire other people. So I had a vision board party at my house to get my friends to do it. So my friends came over, and I took this picture. We were all making it that night, but my friends were actually holding all my vision boards. So I don't know if you could see.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
So like all the different years. So
Dude,
like I have one each year, but I'll show you like my 2021.
yeah, that's awesome. That's nice.
Yeah. So like
Hmm.
so like you could see on here like
Oh,
whole food plant-based diet,
oh,
uh
cool.
be stress-free, yoga,
A lot in,
certain things like just breathe, sleep,
hmm.
all kinds of stuff. Like
Oh,
this place is actually the building. I wanted to live there because I was renting an apartment in my town, and I actually bought and I live there now.
oh, oh yeah,
Yeah,
you bought it. Congrats.
yeah. So I bought it. So and then like I want to go to UPW in November, and just like all kinds of stuff I put on here. So
Sick.
yeah, I love the vision board. I look at it every day because like I think that's like the most important thing that I do. Like be
Mm,
focused on what's actually important to you. You
yeah,
know, because
that's
like
awesome.
because like you and me both, we probably spend the majority of our day obviously sleeping or at work. So
Mm,
like in that time that you have to yourself, like are you really using it on things that are important to you? And
yeah.
like if you're not, it's like, oh, I get home, I'm tired, so I'm gonna watch 5 hours of TV that maybe probably is not going to be on your vision board for
Mm,
your life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I almost never watch TV. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me either, dude. People think it's like the weirdest thing, but I honestly don't watch any TV like at
Yeah,
all. It's
yeah.
strange.
So, but like my vision board, I look at it every single morning
Yeah.
because there's too many things on it. You can only tackle certain things every day. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed. And you're like, oh, I can't do this. But every day, I can focus on one thing. It's like, you know what? Today, I really want to do yoga. Oh, today, I really want to make sure I eat plant based or what. You know what I mean? Like, I want to plan. Like I have one thing I really want to do surfing this summer, but that's not the time to focus on it. So that's kind of been not really one of my focuses till the summer comes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, like all your previous vision boards, were you able to accomplish like most of it? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, I'd say like probably at least 75% on each vision
Well,
board.
that's
Yeah, which is
amazing.
pretty cool. Like a lot of them were travel goals, and like
Right.
I used to not really travel that much. I used to go on like say like one trip a year, like a typical person. Now I've made it like a focus of my life to travel, and I've been like now I go on with like eight to 10 vacations a year.
That's awesome.
So like I do all these things. Like it's like I look back and it's like I remember there was a time when I used to never leave the country, and now
Yeah.
look like when I was 24, never left the country.
Mm.
25 was the first time, and now I've been to like 22 countries, and I've been like all these crazy trips and have like all these amazing memories, and like that's my passion. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the coronavirus is killing me because I can't travel.
I know.
But it'll pass. It'll pass.
Yeah. That's very relatable. So same with me. I remember like one of my blocks was like the story I told myself was like traveling is only for like rich people. So I like made it. I was like almost shooting myself in the foot. But then the last few years, I've been like traveling like a madman, like everywhere. So it's interesting to see like when you do go into this work, like how much changes, right? Like I'm just like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like, I would never thought this was like possible, but
Yeah.
it's so cool, you know? It's like I don't know. It's nice to kind of reflect to see that like, wow, like a lot has changed in the past few years.
Yeah, I think that's why I like the vision board and like how you were talking about like the things you're proud of. Because then when you're proud of it, it gives you fuel to keep going.
Mm,
Because then you're like, wow, I did all these awesome things. But if you just like kind of like if I went on all these trips and now I'm just like, oh, the next 3 months I'm not allowed to travel because of the coronavirus. Instead, I'm like, you know what? At least I had all these awesome experiences in the past, and I'll have more in the future. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it'll make it that much better, right? Because like like during the Summit of Greatness with Lewis Howes, right? If the previous 6 months like people weren't allowed to travel, and then that's like the first month back where it's like back to normal,
It's
it's
gonna
gonna be
be
crazy. Like everyone's gonna be like, yeah,
feeling of being on that plane is gonna be so epic.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
no, no, this conversation's been pretty awesome. Had a really good time. I feel like
yeah, me
there's
too.
like so many takeaways. Like I wrote down some of like my big takeaways. Like appreciate where you are today. Um, like taking care of your well-being, and then always like putting things into perspective. Like you said, um, like being alive, and how that stress management class was like cause a ripple effect, and then just like how like these little decisions end up impacting like so much, but it's hard to like see it in the moment, but afterwards when you reflect on it, you're like, wow, like that decision really did change the trajectory of my life.
Yeah.
And then about like just creating how to create raving fans by just doing the right thing and just going above and beyond, and because of that, that will help you become successful in general, like not just in business, but just in life and building like authentic relationships. And then, if someone is interested in starting their own business, make sure it's something that they're very passionate about. And because they're so passionate about it, like there's no way like he or she won't be successful. That's a good takeaway. And then just like your curiosity for just like meeting people and just like different cultures, like obviously because of that like innate curiosity and that wonder, like it's obviously it's served you well, like if you have like a billion Google reviews, like you live such a rich life, and you're relatively young too, right? Like in the grand
Yeah,
scheme of things, like
yeah, I'm 30, so.
yeah, like that's pretty young, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of years left.
Oh yeah.
And then how because you were taking care of your health and like focusing on your well-being, like even your immune disease gone away, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
sure people think like, oh, it's not possible, like it's like there's not much I can do about it, but because of your focusing on all the right things, like you are able to have control over it and able to get over something that maybe a lot of people like may think it's like it's over, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm done. And yeah, man. So, oh yeah, and then the last thing is just like creating like a vision board. And because you create a vision board, like you're more intentional, and then you're because it's like you're manifesting it because it's like
Exactly.
laws of attraction and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been an awesome conversation. I'm glad we did this. It actually put me in an even better mood, just like talking to someone like you and thinking about like all like my great memories and all my goals for the future. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Well, I'm excited. I'm sure this won't be the last conversation. But yeah, I'm sure after like Summit of Greatness, would love to like interview you, and or after the Jack Canfield event,
Yeah,
that would
yeah,
love to kind of pick your brain on stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. Anytime you let me know.
cool. Well, thanks, Nick.
All
Best
right,
of
man.
luck with the rest of the busy tax season, and
Thanks.
yeah, keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye.